Right, so welcome everybody. Um, I'm so glad you're here with me. I'm excited for our Spooky Suite online workshop. It is 11:35 a.m. Eastern Time in North Carolina, where I'm at. I'm in Pufftown. And I love that we have amazing crafters tuning in from all over and that we get to connect and create together no matter where we are. That is the best part, right? Um, so today is all about sharing the love and joy of paper crafting. We're going to relax. We're going to have some fun. We're going to, get those natural endorphins going so we can bring that joy to our heart, right? And my favorite part is we get to spread that joy with others just by sending those hand stamped cards that we make. So today we're going to make three quick and cute cards. Um, that I hope that you guys love, and you can use the layouts for so many things, right? I do have some alternatives to show you, well, one of each, to show you that I did, because when I looked at the poll, some of you don't do Halloween cards, and I totally get that. Halloween's not for everybody. But it is a fun holiday, and I make them for my grandchildren. So I do like to do a few Halloween cards. But for my fall friends as well, some of you liked both, some of you were definitely fall. I've got some fall art alternatives as well. So you'll be able to see the layout in both ways. So let's see a little bit about me if you don't know who I am. First of all, I'm Wendy Lee. You can find me at CreativeLeeYours.com. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in the US. I've been a demonstrator for 23 years now. This week was my stamp anniversary on the 15th. I totally missed it. Too busy, I guess. I don't know. But I've been full time since November of 2019, which is not a common thing. Not many people do this full time, but I do. I'm married to a very wonderful, supportive man. I have two amazing grown children and the cutest grandbabies ever, right? We all think our grandbabies are cute. I keep calling them babies, but Arlie will be 9 tomorrow and Bonnie is 4, so it's crazy. So I love what I do, especially love sharing it with all of you. So all good. So how do I serve my crafting community? I do everything from online events like this, card clubs, private parties, in-person gatherings. Um, I've got kits to go, all kinds of fun stuff. When I do host an in-person event, I bring all the supplies, I teach the techniques or projects we're making, and then the host would keep the samples I make. It's fun, it's simple, it's just a fun time out, right? But even when we're virtual like today, I love that we can all connect and create together, which is what it's all about, right? I think so. So today you're going to find links posted for the supply list for today's project. So you'll see all of that I used. You can keep your catalog handy or your online store open, or sticky note, notepad, so you can jot down notes as you go if you'd like to. I will give measurements as we work along, but if you want the PDF tutorial, then you will want to take advantage of the order special. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about our goodies, right? So I do have an ordering special. It started officially yesterday when it posted, because I wanted you guys to be able to take advantage of the stamp sale we had for 24 hours, which was awesome. And thank you to each and every one of you that have already placed their order. I will get caught up on that. I didn't get to any of that yesterday. So when I send you your thank you email, it will have the PDF tutorial in it if you qualified for the online special, okay? I highlighted in yellow, so that's where it is. So let's talk about the ordering special. So I have one for my US friends and I have one for my international friends. So for the US, when you place a $35 or greater order with me by Monday, September 22nd, so the special ends on September 22nd. If an order comes through on the 23rd, I will still thank you. You will still get a thank you card from me, but it does not qualify for this special, okay? So you're going to get that hand stamped card in the mail, and the PDF tutorial for the projects we're making today. Now, if your purchase is $50 or greater, you're also going to get the cut kit. Yeah, I send out the packet with the cup hearts in it for you. Everything's pre-cut with the exception of the things that require the Fright Night dies. You're gonna have the paper, but you're not gonna have those die cut for you. Um, And if your purchase hits $50 or greater, you're also going to get the September Painterly Pears All-Star Video Class Tutorial Bundle. It's a $15 value, and that is a gift from me as a thank you. So always when you place a $50 or greater order, you get the All-Star Video Class Tutorial Bundle from me. So you got that going. And then don't forget, anytime you place an order with Stampin' Up and you earn rewards, right? We've got that new reward system. You're automatically going to earn 10% back in rewards once your order hits $20 or more. And there's no host code needed anymore. So it's simple, it's easy to do. You definitely want to make sure you've opted into the rewards to earn those. Now, for my international friends, I have something for you as well, right? I appreciate you just as much as I appreciate all my US friends as well, right? So I don't want you to miss out on the fun. So when you purchase in my tutorial store and spend $35 or greater, you're going to also get the PDF for today's workshop. If your order goes to $50 or greater, you're also going to get the All-Star Video Class Tutorial Bundle for free. So don't purchase that one if you're going to do shopping and take advantage of the special. So I do have a link with the order special on the tutorial store as well as to shop with me. And again, the offer is valid through Monday. So, all right. When you guys place your orders, if you need a printed version of the mini catalog, where did it go? I think mine is on the other side of the room. Let me know, and I will send you one of those as well. All right, project time. Should we move over and get busy with our crafty fun? I think we should. All right. As we go through, I am gonna, if I remember, because I get sidetracked. If you've got questions, let me know. But I'm going to talk a little bit about my Forget Me Not Avid Card Club, Cultivated Creativity, which is my DIY paper crafting kit subscription. And you can also take advantage of things like our kits collection and Paper Pumpkin, which is a great way for our new crafters to get started. Someone that's on a budget, maybe a tighter budget than you want to be, it's a great way to get started because you don't have to buy a whole bunch of extra stuff. Everything's in the box for you. And it's great for crafting to go. It's great to craft with your grandchildren or children. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I think there's truly something for every type of crafter, whether you're a beginner or looking to take it to the next level. Okay. So let me flip the camera over and let's get started. Let's make sure I find all my buttons and get us over to the video. Yes, there we go. Let's turn on some lights. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm sure I missed a lot of comments, but I will go back and go through them so that I answer all your questions. So hopefully you guys can see this all right. Let me turn on the mic because I tend to get a little muted when I am on this part of the camera. Hopefully I'm connected. I can't see my light, so I can't tell. All right, here we go. If there are sound problems, let me know. I know sometimes there's individual issues with sound that I cannot control. But if there's anything I can do on my end to make it better, I will. So we are featuring today, we're using the Fright Night bundle. We're not using it to its full extent because again, I wanted to do fast, easy crafting, right? I wanted to make this so that you guys should do these quick. They're cute, and we're utilizing that spooky sweet designer series paper pack, which is fantastic. So we'll be pulling in these items for our stamps and dies. Now, the projects we're making is this one here, and this one here, and this one here. And as we go along, I'm going to be talking to you about stepping up your projects, right? Good. Captions are coming through. Good. Good. Thank you, Nan. I'm so glad. Sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. And I have the settings set up, but it doesn't always come over the way I would hope it would, right? All right. So we're going to start off with this first card here. And let's talk a little bit about stepping up our projects. Let me grab my stuff and I'll lay it out here as we go. So we are going to start off with our 4 1/4 by 11 basic black card base. So it's just a half a sheet. You can cut it either way that you want to cut it. I don't know. I just kind of like this top fold, but you could have it fold over here and cut the paper in half the other direction. That's entirely up to you. Now I've got a piece of Petunia Pop cardstock, one of my favorite colors, if you can tell. And this measures 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. Now we could lay down our designer paper strips. So let me do that really quick here. And I'll tell you measurements on these as well. So I've got 3 of them that are 1 inch by 2 3/4, and then this one is 3 1/4 by 1 5/8. So again, this is from our Spooky Sweet Designer Series paper. And we could lay all of this down flat as it is and make this a super mailable card, right? Then I'm going to pull in, this paper pack has all these lovely die cut punch outs that you can do. I think that we would refer to these as ephemera. So that's what I'm going to call them. And so I've used those instead of stamping my focal point, I've used some of those to place, right? Now, you can do this flat if you want to make it super mailable, right? Like if you really want it flat and you don't want to have any issues with mailing it, you can just do it simple, cute, easy, right? And stamp right down on here, be done. Now, if you want to step it up, you can add some ribbon, which we're doing, and some embellishments, which we're doing, right? Now, we're not doing this, but if you wanted to, you could, instead of stamping on your designer paper, you could add a banner, right? And step it up a little bit more with a die cut, which is also fun, right? So there's lots of different things that you can do to step it up that are simple, or you can take it to a big extreme. Now, I didn't do any big extremes today because, again, I wanted these to be quick and cute for you to be able to easily make these. So let's go ahead and assemble this lovely project here. So you've got all these measurements here. Before I start gluing, I want to stamp my sentiment. I'm going to bring in my Trick or Treat and my Memento black ink pad. Okay, hopefully I'm in camera still. And we're going to ink this up. So simple stamping, right? I'm doing super simple stamping. So I'm going to put my Trick or Treat right on there. Cute. So again, you could change that out with the banner, but I'm going to keep this easy, fast and easy. So totally could do that, right? All right, let's go ahead and put this down. Oh, the spooky back. There's some really fun prints in this one. I wanted to keep it a little more cute than spooky. So that's why I did what I did. Now, I'm a stamp and seal girl. If you are more of a liquid glue girl or guy, gal, whatever, you can use what makes your heart happy. This is just what I prefer, right? Now, I like to put the strips on the outer 2 edges first, right? And I'm just looking to make sure that I have somewhat equal distance on those 2 sides, right? And I did this one first because it helped me give my center since it's all one piece. And then I'll put this one in last because I can center it between them and it doesn't matter if it's exactly the same or not. It gives you a little bit of wiggle room, I would say. Okay, so cute. Now we're going to put this on the front of our card. We can do this flat or we can pop it up. I'm going to pop mine up. I want mine a little bit stepped up. So let's pop it up. Okay. And we'll just use some dimensionals here. I used to only use 4, but I'm going to use 6. I know it's a lot, but I'm going to do it anyway. I like it nice and stable. I've had people tell me you could cut them in half and get more out of it, and you can, but I like the stability of the full dimensional. Otherwise, I'd use mini dimensionals, right? All right, so I've got this there. I love that. Alrighty, that is cute, and you could be done, but we have this great ephemera and I want to add this to my card front. Now I've got a different one. He's facing the other direction. So I could choose to put him on the other side, or I could just have him looking off this way. So either one. Do you guys have a preference? Should he be on the left or should he be on the right? I'm going to let you guys vote. While we're doing that, I'm going to step this up a little bit as well. I'm going to pull in my Wink of Stella glitter brush. Now this is a brand new one. All I've done was take it out of the package. I wanted to show you guys when you get a Wink of Stella, you need to open this up and remove this ring. This is for shipping purposes so that it doesn't leak. So toss that, put the lid back on. Well, I'm going the wrong way, aren't I? There we go. Now, this part is important as well. You need to prime this, okay? Kind of like a paint pen. So I'm going to squeeze this, and it's going to allow the glittery juicy goodness to go down the barrel. So you can start to see it in there. But what I want you to do, I want you to have this over the top of a silicone craft sheet or something. I like a silicone craft sheet because if it makes a big mess, because whoop, ooh, did you see that splash out? If it splashes out, I can still use this if I'm on my silicone craft sheet. If I'm on something else, like a piece of paper, I might have just wasted all of that goodness that came out. Okay? So I am going to take him and I got lots of Stella. He's going to be super glittery. I am going to add Stella to his bandages. He's got glitter bandages on. So I think that's fun. So he might be excessively glitter because, like I said, I've got a lot of Stella coming out because I purposely squeezed it maybe a little more than I should have because I wanted you guys to see what it does. You may have experienced this on your own already, but I thought it would be good for you to see it if you hadn't. I think I already did that one. All right, so he's super glittery. I love that he's super glittery. I'm gonna leave that right there. So how fun is that? And can you guys even see that magnificent glitteriness? It's so cool. All right, left, left. Let's see what the votes are. All right, my mouse is not working. There we go, left. Everybody says on the left. All right, at least all the comments I can see. So I'm gonna put it on the left side. Okay, so I'm gonna pop him up. If you don't want the height, like maybe you wanted this layer popped up, but you didn't want this layer popped up, you don't have to. I'm gonna pop it up because I'm stepping this up just a bit, right? It's what I've chosen to do. We're gonna put 4 on there. You could use more if you wanted. Oh, I totally love all that glitteriness. Now, I like him hanging off the edge just ever so slightly. I think it's cute that way. All right, now I want to add a bow. So I've got this lovely iridescent petunia pop ribbon, super soft, easy to tie. Now we could have wrapped this around, but why not? Save a little and just make our bow. So got my 2 loops here. I'm gonna crisscross. I'm using about 12 inches of ribbon. You do what makes your heart happy. So I'm going to pull the loops. I'm going to pull the knot or hold the knot, pull the legs. There we go. To make it a little bit smaller, and then I can tighten it again. So you can futz with that and do that as many times as you want until you get the ribbon looking how you want it to be. Now, 12 inches was a little long in this case, based off the size I want my ribbon, which is fine. I'm just going to clip off that extra. Okay, we don't need that. And then I can choose to either tuck it in over here so it looks like it's tied around, which I kind of like, or I could put it on the other side, but I don't actually like a bow in the middle of nowhere. I like it to look like it's supposed to be there. So I'm going to tuck it underneath him. So let me grab my mini glue dots, and I'm going to just ball up a mini glue dot and add that to the back of my ribbon, and I'm going to slide it just right in here so it looks like it might have been tied around the layer, and then we'll give that a really good push to get that right down in there. Cute? Do you guys like it? I hope so. I love it. Oh, you forget to use it? No, can't forget to use it. All right, let's pull in. So from an embellishment perspective, like we could totally be done. This is so cute the way it is. But if you want to add some embellishments, I am using these lovely shimmer, what are they called? Shimmer Stars foam stickers, okay? And you can see I've used all the black ones. They're gone. I have more coming. I've used so many packs of these already because I just love them. One of the things I love about them is they're super low profile, right? They're skinny and they're squishy. So they don't add any bulk when you mail them. So you can use a lot of these bad boys, I think. Lots of good fun there. All right, so I am going to add a couple of stars here. Let's add one there and maybe one here. And we'll add one over here. Why not? So I kind of flipped it from what I did on the original. So you can see them side by side. All right, let's bring our design to the inside. To me, that is another easy way to step it up. So here's what we did. So I've got my white layer and that measures 3 3/4 by 5. We're going to stamp our Happy Halloween and then we're going to add in another little piece of the ephemera. Now, another thing you could do to step it up is you could add in a strip of the designer series paper that we put on the front and slide that sentiment up a little bit, or you could stamp your sentiment up here if you prefer. But it's another way to tie that design together. And this was a piece of trash, right? Like it was something I cut off of something else. So why not use all those little bits to add a little extra to the insides of our projects here, right? Why not? Okay, so here is my white layer. Before I glue this down, let's do our stamping because then I get two chances so that I don't mess it up, right? So we're bringing back in our Memento Black. We're going to stamp our Happy Halloween right over to the side. I like to change it up sometimes and put it towards the bottom versus up at the top. Just, I don't know, just kind of changes it up a little. Makes me happy. Do you guys do that? Not do that? Always put it at the top? Okay, so I've got this little guy here, and I didn't really leave room for him, did I? So maybe, because like I think he's a little wider than what I have space for. So let's bring in a different one. Instead of that guy, we'll bring in our little fairy princess here. I don't have a lot of room for her either, so I'm going to have to put her up a little bit. Which one do we like better? I'm back and forth. Do you guys have a preference? Do you like the little fairy princess or the little birdie with the pumpkin? I kind of like the birdie with the pumpkin, but we'll see what you guys think. I'm going to go and adhere this layer down because I know there's quite the delay. Let you guys vote. Do we do the princess or do we do the little birdie? I could also put it on top of, but I think this is what I'm thinking right here. Birdie, birdie, or a princess. Let's see what you guys are saying. Everybody says the bird. All right, we're going to go bird. Bye, princess. We'll see you later. All right, now, my dreaded liquid glue. Liquid glue is the easiest way for me to put this down with shapes like this, so I do use the liquid glue. I don't love liquid glue, but I do use it. Now, to avoid glue ooze, you guys probably already know this, but if you let this dry a little bit, it dries tacky, so it's still sticky. You can still put it down, but if you let it dry a little bit, which I am not good at because I don't have the patience, it will not ooze, right? Like it sticks, but it doesn't ooze out, which is nice, right? I love it. All right, so what do you guys think? Would you step it up more or do you like how we've done it? Cute. All right, we're going to move on to the next one. Oh, you know what? I need to show you the alternate. Let me show you the alternate. I'll do those as we go. So for my fall friends, I made one. So same layout, right? My layers are all the same cuts. I used Pretty Peacock, Early Espresso, and then this is the Gathering Together designer series paper. And then I took one of my die cut leaves that I did the faux stitching on, added some of my little twine here and some embellishments. Now, I chose not to put a sentiment on the front of this one, so that's entirely up to you. I could put one, but I didn't. And then on the inside, I brought the design to the inside as well, just with a couple little stamped elements. So kept it simple still. Well, sort of. This die cut has a lot going on, right? All right. Like it? Like the leaf card? Good. Perfect. Glad you guys like that one. All right, so our second one we're going to create is this one right here. So there's a lot of choices and things that you can do on this one as well. Let me grab my Simply Scored. Not my Simply Scored. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm going to grab my layers so we can talk through those. So this one I kind of wanted a tone on tone appearance. Rhinos often have birds on their back. Oh, so no wonder I went that way. I didn't remember that, but that's a great tip, Jean. I like it. So I wanted a tonal look on this one, really sticking with that orange. And I thought peach pie was a really nice complement to the pumpkin pie without being a little over the top. Now we could have pulled in the Timid Tiger, which is one of our in colors, but I just felt like staying a little more classic with this. So here again, we have got some layers that we can put on the front of our card. Let me go ahead and fold this. Get that a good burnishing. All right. So we've got some layers we can put on our card front. So that kind of adds a little bit of a stepped up appearance to it, kind of fun, festive. And I've got just a little strip of designer series paper that I'm gonna put here. This is, let's see, the layers are, the pumpkin pie layer is 5 by 3 3/4. The peach pie layer is 4 3/4. Whoops, I did it backwards. 3.5 by 4 3/4. And then this is a 1 by 4 piece of designer series paper. And this is a 3 by 2 piece of designer series paper. So we could stop there, right? Add your sentiment and be done because there's cuteness going on with this paper. But to step it up, I've pulled in some of our ephemera. So I've got this lovely bird with the pumpkins. And then I've got a die cut that I did with the basic black cardstock and the Fright Night dies just to add a little fun there. And then I've got a couple of these lovely little bats from the ephemera. So cute, right? That we can step it up by doing that. And then on the card inside, I brought that strip of designer series paper in and stamped my sentiment. So fun, right? So let's go ahead and assemble this one together. So let's start by stamping our sentiment first, right? Because I could easily mess that up. So I am going to let's go ahead and adhere these two together. I'm going to put a little adhesive on the back of this one here. I'm just going to lay these out kind of where I might want them to overlap. Okay. And then now I can kind of place this a little more centered. All right. So I want my sentiment to fall into this area here. Now, because my sentiment was not the length I wanted it to be, right? It's a little bit long. I'm going to go ahead and mask this. So we can change our orientation, I guess, in somewhat of how our stamps are laid out. Let me grab, there we go. Oh, good. You guys like this? Yay. I'm glad you like it. These are so easy. So easy. Simple layouts that are definitely duplicatable. That's the right word. All right. So the first thing I want is eat, drink, and. So I'm going to mask off. So I'm just adding some painter's tape to cover up the beginning of the word because I can see past that, right? Now I'm going to bring in a piece of scrap paper just to double check my stamp. And I should have done that before I put the tape on it. So let's try that again. I want to stamp and make sure I don't have any residual ink on that, right? Because that would ruin my card front. So I'm going to take that tape. I'm going to ink up the sentiment, just the portion I want. And I can get ink on that tape. Now I need to remove the tape, or I'm going to stamp that, right? I'm going to put my eat, drink, and right on the front. And then I'm going to clean my stamp. So I like the scrub and mist. So let me show you what that is. So this is our Stampin' Scrub. You spray one side with our mist and you leave the other side dry. Yes, there's raindrops and it tells you which one should be wet and which one should be dry. It's too small a print, I can't see it. And then this is our Stampin' Mist. It comes in a nice big bottle now. It used to come in a much smaller bottle. I still use those and refill them, but all right, so I want to make sure I'm stamping any residual ink because my scrub might not be the cleanest. I will run it through the dishwasher occasionally, but most of the time I just put it in this, run it through the water at the sink, right? All right, so I'm now going to mask because I only want Be Scary. So let's get our Memento black pad and we're going to ink that up. Just our Be Scary. Okay, I'm going to close that and put that to the side so that I don't end up with black everywhere. Remove my mask. Let's not do it upside down. And let's stamp Be Scary. Cute? So you can change your stamps. You guys know that you can do this, but just in case we had anybody with us today that had not done that before, It's a nice, fun way to kind of change that orientation based off what you need for your particular project. All right, now we are ready to put this down. Now I'm going to put these flat. Typically, I put designer series paper flat, not always, but typically, just because it doesn't have the extra oomph, right? That a cardstock has, the thickness. You need that extra stability. Now I could have layered it on cardstock and popped it up to make it a little more exciting if we wanted to. That would be fine. Now on my layers here, I'm going to adhere these together and then I'm going to pop this up. You could lay this one down and pop this one up. It's going to give it a little different appearance. Or you could put them all flat. Entirely up to you, depending on how you want it stepped up or not. Okay? So I'm going to lay this down. I think I already told you the card layers on these in the beginning, so I'm not going to repeat those right this moment. Oh, you forget about masking. Yeah. It's funny. I go in phases where I do it a lot. Um, and then there's other times I forget about it as well. So I'm with you on that. All right, so I'm going to take my spider web here. Now, normally I would cut this out with adhesive sheet on the back. I did not do that. So I'm going to take a little bit of liquid glue and looks like I got stuff stuck to my liquid glue here. So we're going to put some dots of glue. I should have done this earlier so it had some time to dry, but I didn't, and that's okay. We can always work on the inside for a moment if need be. That's a lot of dots, right? Let's go with that. Maybe we'll put one right there. Ooh, that's a big one. All right, I'm going to stop at that before I make a huge mess. So we're going to let that sit there and dry for just a moment. Now, while that's happening, I think I want a little wink of Stella on my bats. So let's bring our bats in here and let's give them some Stella goodness. And I'm just going to color the whole ephemera piece versus just staying on the black. And look, I can still recover this Stella that is on my silicone craft sheet. And that'll just wash off, right? Like when I take it to the sink, it'll totally just wash off. And I don't think I'm going to put it on my little birdie with my pumpkin. I think I just want it on my spooky bats. So I'm going to let that sit for just a moment and let's work on the inside. So, oh yeah, you guys have done that? Yeah, it does help to take the tape off. I've done that many a times as well, which is why I said it, right? All right, so we're going to take our inside layer, which is 3 3/4 by 5 basic white, and we're going to stamp our Happy Halloween. Now this time I did it up high, and then I'm going to bring in that little strip, 4 inch by 1/2 inch. Again, that was waste, paper waste that I don't want to waste, right? I can use that. So let me bring in that white layer here. We'll bring back in our Memento ink pad and our Happy Halloween stamp. So again, keeping these simple, but you can still step them up or not, right? Depending on how simple you want it. Let's add this to the inside of our card. All right. I'm just centering that. And then we'll add in that little strip of designer paper just to bring that design. Oh, I grabbed the wrong one. There it is. There it is. I want the orange one, not the one from the last card. And just slide this. And I've chosen to leave a little white space. You don't have to, but I think that looks cute. All right, now I think our glue has dried enough that I'm not going to get crazy glue ooze. So I'm going to add my little spider web. I think I'm going to come down a little bit with it and have it overlap that designer paper just a smidge. I don't know, it's the mood I'm in. There's no right or wrong. You do what makes sense to you at the minute you're doing it, is how I look at it. I'm gonna put some dimensionals. I think I want my little pumpkin and birdie. Sparkle the pumpkins. I could, I didn't. I sparkled the bats on this one, but we could go back and sparkle the pumpkin. Let's see what we think. It's a good suggestion. So put that on there. Now I'm going to put one of my bats, I think I'm going to put flat, and the other one I think I'll pop up. So let's grab some. I probably didn't put them on the supply list. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I want minis. I want mini dimensionals. And of course you could pull in your black ones. If you've got your black dimensionals, you can pull those in. Okay, all I did was pull off the backing paper. That didn't go well, did it? What do you guys think? Should we add the sparkle to the pumpkins? Jean's saying we should add sparkle. You guys vote. Let me know. Should we go back and add sparkle to the pumpkins? I'm going to, let's see, I'm gonna put one there. Let's pop up this one. And then this one I think I'm gonna put flat. Just to add a little interest. There's no right or wrong again. We can do whatever makes our heart happy at the moment. The dogs have decided they want in right now, so they're barking. Hopefully you guys don't hear all that. All right, so my little sparkly bats. So what do we think? Yes, yes to sparkle. Okay, everybody says yes, sparkle the pumpkins. All right, pumpkins, here we come. We're sparkling you. Why not? I don't know that you can have too much sparkle, can you? I know some people don't like it. I've got a neighbor that doesn't like sparkle on her toenails and fingernails, and you can tell I do. I love a little sparkle. Cute. And this is giving me lots of great sparkle. So we have good sparkle. Now, I chose not to put any of the stars on this because I felt like my ephemera was my embellishment. So I didn't add more, but you totally could if you wanted to, right? So that's up to you. All right, so card two, done. Let me show you my alternative. Yeah, oh, you want the bird? Oh, okay, Mary Lee, I missed it. So you said to put the sparkle the bird. I could have done the bird sparkle instead of the pumpkins. I like it. I think it looks good. So here's my fall alternative project to this. So a crumb cake base with some early espresso, crumb cake again, same layout. I pulled in some of that autumn toile. I mean, I don't know if I say that right. Autumn toile, yeah. Designer series paper and grabbed the coordinating dies and just added some little deer there, couple little embellishments to replace my bats and my sentiment. And on the inside, I did a very similar with my very vanilla layer, stamped the sentiment and added the strip of designer paper. So same layout, but I've now made it a fall version. What do you guys think? Like it? Don't like it? Would you try it? All right, ready for card three. So now we're going to bring in the Simply Scored. Okay, hopefully I'm placing it so you can see. So the card we're going to do next, I have stepped this one up a little bit, but we're going to do a little bit more. I'm going to change it a little bit as we go. So this is a Z fold. So to me, this is the simplest fun fold that you can do in the world, right? I think a Z fold is kind of like a standard card in my mind, but it is considered a fun fold. And I think it's just adorable, right? So we've done some things to step this up already. So I've got my pumpkin pie card base, which is 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 2 1/8 and 4 1/4. And then we've got a piece of basic black. Now this layer is, let me make sure, 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. Now, I've embossed this. I don't know if you can see that very well. The camera doesn't do it justice, but this is embossed with this So Swirly embossing folder. So we're going to do that. And I think it adds a fun element to the Halloween because of just the flow of it, right? Then I've punched a circle in the background, which we're going to do, but I'm going to do one extra step to step this up a little bit more. And then we pulled in our ephemera right from our kit and popped up a couple of those yummy candy corns. Do you want a candy corn tree? I didn't make a chocolate tree like the voting that you guys did, the poll that you guys did. I was surprised as many people like candy corn as they do. Sometimes that's pretty controversial, but I'm glad that so many of you like candy corn. I like it, sort of. I don't know. I have to be in the mood for it. And then we've added a stamped banner. Now you could easily, if you don't want to go into die cutting, you could easily just add a strip of paper, which you're going to see on my alternative project. And then we brought this to the inside with a 3 3/4 by 5 piece of basic white. We've stamped our sentiment and added a couple little more ephemeras in there. So some stepping up, but nothing too crazy on this. So let's start with our card base. So I've got my pumpkin pie card base, and I'm going to score this at 2 1/8 and 4 1/4. So Easy peasy. It's one more score line than you would for a standard card base anyway, right? So this is why I say it's the easiest fun fold that there is, I think. If you guys have one that you think is easier than a Z fold, let me know. All right, so I'm gonna fold this in half, give that a burnishing, and I'm gonna fold this front flat back and give that a burnishing. Really good burnishing. So this is where the Z fold comes in. See my Z? Nice. Now on this one, I'm gonna do the inside first. So I'm gonna grab my piece of basic white and we're gonna stamp our Happy Halloween on that. Yeah, you like the Halloween candy corn? Good. All right, so I'm gonna put this towards the top. Okay. And then I'm gonna adhere this right inside our card. And you're gonna see why I'm doing my inside first in just a moment. All right, so I'm gonna center this left, right, top to bottom. Okay. And then I want to add my little candy corn ephemera if I can find where in the world I put them. I think I have them kind of off to the side. There they are. Let's grab them. I'm getting there. I'm slow, but I'm getting there. All right, let's grab one of these double little candy corns. Now you could layer two little ones if you wanted to, if you didn't have any doubles left in your pack. Or you could just put a single, that's fine too. And I'm gonna put just a little bit of liquid glue on that. And we'll go ahead and put this down. Now, I want to be careful. I like to cross my layers. And if I wasn't doing to the front of my card what I plan on doing, I would move this way over and way down so that it actually was a very visual crossing of my layers. I've got it ever so slightly because I know what's happening on the front of my card. So I don't want to cover that up. You know, I don't want that sticking out. I do want to cover that up, right? Candy corn is fat free. Okay. Not sugar free. All right, so here is my basic black layer, the So Swirly folder. So now you can really see that a little bit better. So when I take my layer out, hopefully you can catch that light a little bit to kind of see. Black is hard. Black is hard to photograph. Black is hard to show the details of on screen. So I'm going to lay this down. Now, I'm going to go flat with this. You could pop this layer up, but I'm going to go flat. I'm going to run my adhesive. I'm going to use this white layer as a guide, and I'm going to run my adhesive right along this fold. Then on the back side, I'm going to run adhesive on this outer edge here. Someone's ringing my doorbell. I don't know if I have to go get something or not. I hope not. That would be bad. We'll see if they ring it again. All right, so I'm going to lay this down right there. And so now my adhesive isn't going over too far. It's placed perfectly on where I need it to be. So cute, right? Add some fun there. Now, let's do our moon behind our tree. We're going to do that next. So I'm going to grab in a scrap piece of paper. Oh, good. It's showing really well. I love that. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right. I've got a scrap of, oh, they're ringing the, I hate to do this. I'm going to pause a moment. I got to find out who's at my door because I have a new paper cutter coming today because I broke mine this week. So I'll be right back. I promise. All right. Sorry about that. I appreciate the patience. I would not have left, but I think they were going to keep ringing the bell. All right. Can you guys hear me? I hope so. I'm going to keep going. So I've got my Daffodil Delight layer and my 2 3/8 circle punch. So our punches come locked or can be locked. Hopefully they came locked. I'm going to open this up just by sliding that and it expands. This is the part you squeeze. This is where your paper goes in. I like to use it upside down so that I can see where I'm punching, especially if you stamped something, right? This one doesn't really matter, but this way I can see where I'm cutting it out of. When I'm done, I can just squeeze that closed, slide that mechanism, and it locks the punch, and I can just set it on my shelf. So it doesn't take up as much room as our old whale tail, is what I'm going to call them, punches. Now, I'm going to temporarily put this down on my scrap paper. I could use my silicone craft sheet, but I've got some juicy goodness on there that I don't want to mess with. So I'm going to leave that there. And I am looking for what in the world did I do with my Daffodil Delight ink pad? I am not seeing it. Where did I put it? I know I had it, but I'm not seeing it. Oh, I left it on the other side of the room. Goodness gracious. I even grabbed it twice to make sure that I wouldn't forget it, and I still missed it. All right, we're grabbing it. We're pulling in our Daffodil Delight ink pad. Now, I want to make this look spooky, right? So I'm going to take my Daffodil Delight ink pad and I'm going to drag it across my little moon or sun, whatever you want to call it. I think the streakier the better. When you do that technique, your ink pad kind of grabs the paper a little bit. It's going to turn out different every time you do it, but the ink pad will grab that paper a little bit. So you could end up with more than you expect, but once it's dry, I promise you it's super cool. Let's go ahead and use our liquid glue and put that down. My ink is not dry, but I'm going to keep going and we'll hope that that works out well. All right, I'm going to place this up top. Can you see how cool that is? How it adds that really neat depth in that color? I think it's cool. All right, let's grab our ephemera. I'm going to poke out the little bits that I did not do earlier. You guys still with me? Did I lose you? I hope not. Again, apologies for that. All right, and then I'm going to glue this down. I think that's so cool. So I'm going to just kind of adhere that tree down. I'm going to go flat. You could pop it up, but I'm going to go flat with this one because I want to pop up my candy corn, right? Everybody should have a candy corn tree. Okay. I'm going to lay this. I'm doing my best guess here. We're going to go right about there. I want to see that behind the tree, but I don't want it to be the main focal point. I want it to be a nice accent piece. So kind of cool. All right, let's add some of our candy corn. So I've got a double and 3 singles, and I'm going to pop these up. But you know what? Let's add some Wink of Stella. Let's put some Wink of Stella on the white portion of our candy corn. No, let's do the orange. I'm going to do the orange, the middle one. To me, that makes sense. A little bit of Stella. A little bit of Stella there. A little bit more Stella here. All right, and I'm going to put some Wink of Stella on this because I didn't do it earlier, and I want it to coordinate, right? We want our design to come to the inside. All right, so let's go ahead and pop up these small ones. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, Jean, thank you. I'm so glad you guys stayed with me. Again, I hated that I needed to do that, but what turned out to be the trimmer or cutter, it's actually my guillotine cutter that I broke. And I am in the middle of finishing up, almost done. So if you ordered these for me, you will be getting them soon. Paper shares, paper and ribbon shares. So in the middle of cutting paper shares and cultivated creativity, which I promised I would tell you more about, I broke my cutter and I have a lot of cutting to do. So I had to order a new one in an emergency situation. So that's what I did. And unfortunately, it came FedEx, which is not my favorite. And they delivered it to the wrong house. So that was my neighbor trying to make sure he could deliver that to me. And it's a heavy box. Heavy, heavy box. So yeah, I think that Wink of Stella and the candy corn is nice too. All right. So here we are adding, this one we're adding in all the extras, right? So I cut the banner using the Fright Night dies, and we're going to stamp our trick or treat on that. So let me grab my Memento black pen, and we will get that stamped on there. Awesome. So yeah, so Cultivated Creativity is my DIY paper crafting kit. I offer a new kit each and every month that features a particular stamp bundle, typically. Sometimes it's just a stamp set, but most of the time it's a bundle. The program is actually currently full, but you can always join the wait list because there's a spot here and there that will open, as the month goes on. We might have some open up. People drop out, people drop in all the time. So the wait list is the place to be if you're interested in that. So you can sign up and join that program. There should be a post in the group, or if you need a link, I can send it to you. So we've stamped this. We're going to pop that up with some dimensional just because that's what I wanted to do. And then I'm going to tuck these candy corn underneath that little banner, and I'm going to use liquid glue for those. So yeah, so I've got that. And I would say the level of projects, they're not dumb, like no-brainer projects like that, but they aren't overly crazy, right? Like they're cute. We do learn lots of fun techniques. You guys probably could explain it better than me, right? Those of you that participate. I wished I wouldn't have glued that down already because I actually am thinking I should have put it on that side because I did my banner a little more swoopy up one side versus the other, but it's okay. All right, let's add some of our foam stars. I'm going to do the white ones this time and add those in. And then I also offer a program called Forget Me Not. That is my Avid Card Club. That one is jam-packed full of fun folds, my favorite, as well as techniques. So we do a lot of really cool things, I think. They are not fast, easy cards, and I'm allowed to use anything in my craft room. So the whole point is to get you pulling out your supplies you have on hand and using them in different ways, right? Because the chances of you having everything that I use on the project is pretty slim, I would think, for most people, but you never know. All right, so this is the one we just did, and this was the original. Look at how cool adding that little ink to that moon made that, right? Like, I think it is a really great step up on this. So you guys have to tell me, do you like it? Don't like it? I did have a little Stella on this one, but you can barely see it, which is why I opened a new one. So cute, 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 cute. So yeah, so Forget Me Not is open to everyone. I have a global version, which is tutorials only, and then I have a um, product version, US based only. So all right, so here's my fall version here. So instead of a banner, which I think would have looked really nice, I changed this up. So this is the dies that goes with that autumn toile. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I put this on a pretty peacock base. This is Lost Lagoon, and I did emboss this. This is Pressed Flowers is the embossing folder. And then I've got my pecan pie tree with the leaves. I added in some of those streak dots. I did punch a white circle, and then I put this on white stamped in peacock. And then I brought, there's another little die cut. Now I didn't put a sentiment on the inside. That was just the choice I made, and added this little die cut. So I've given you a fall version for every single one. So let's lay these all out so you can see them. So here was the third one. Let's see if I can find all my other versions. My second one and my first one. So what do you guys think? Do you love these? Would you make these again? With and what products would you use? Yeah, I love the technique for the moon. It's so easy, right? To be able to switch that over. I think so. All right, I'm gonna switch the camera over so that we can say goodbye. Let me turn off these lights. They're a little crazy. Ouch. Ouch, 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 ouch. Ouch. Turn that one back on, right? So we can hang out for a moment. So, all right. So I hope you guys love those and that you will try each one of them. So I want to give you a quick reminder. There is the ordering special will end on Monday. If you have any questions, please let me know. Um, I'm here to support you however I can. And I very much appreciate each of you being part of my crafting community. Keep sharing and creating and inspiring each other. I love that. I just love it. So good. I see you guys are going to make these. I'm excited. I can't wait to see your versions. Post them right here in this Facebook group. And then we can all ooh and ah them, right? All right. Thank you guys. Oh, I did good on time within an hour. Yay. Even with answering the door. Crazy, 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 crazy. So all good stuff. So thank you guys, and I hope to see you again next month. We'll do another set of fun projects. I'm not sure the date yet, but I will announce it the week that I'm going to go live. All right. Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you all soon. Bye for now.